we have a quorum. Glad you're here, John. And we have a new member, Pam Wishon. And Pam was appointed in, I believe, to replace Jerry Atkins, appointed by Councilmember Stewart. So we still need to work on getting a couple of more members. Chuck, I'm glad. I know you've let them know that we need to move to get a full committee. So,
and if we may we please do a roll call to get us
sure.
started?
Yeah, I'm gonna call on you. Do a roll call right now. Go ahead, Chuck. Do the roll call.
Absolutely. All right. Wes Epperson.
Here.
John Powell.
Here.
Pam Wishon.
Here. Wishon.
Thank you. Labette Ojeda. And Marcy Gregg, who is not with us tonight. City staff present. I am Charles R. Harvey. I'm the Administrative Services Supervisor for the Municipal Services Department.
Zan McKinney, Assistant Director of Municipal Services.
Matt McLaughlin, Deputy Director of Municipal Services.
James Pollock, Storm Operations / Street Operations.
And this meeting is officially in order at 4:06 p.m.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the April 3rd SIOC meeting minutes. I'd ask the members if you have any additions or corrections to the April 3rd minutes. Okay, hearing none.
I'd move to approve them.
Okay, need a second? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. None opposed, so that's approved. And we can move on to the financial dashboard and discussion. And whoever's gonna handle that, Chuck, for the city.
Yeah, I can go ahead and speak to that, unless someone else would like to.
You got it.
Yes, as we usually do during our summer meeting, we review the finance and statistics for the street sales tax up through the end of the third quarter. So this, you will see, is financial dashboard is from 7/1/24 to 3/31/25. The top there, the source of funds, that represents our income and what we budgeted and what is actual and the percentage of that budgeted and actual. Looking right on track there, actually a lot better. The actual just sales tax revenue by itself is at 73%, with an additional income of 49%, and our additional revenues that represents grants, grant fundings, and things like that. 246% over what we had originally budgeted. So at the 3/4 of the year mark, we are at 99%. We're not 99% of our anticipated income. So looking great there at the end of the third quarter.
Okay. Any questions about the revenue? Okay. Chuck, you want to move on?
Sure. Do you want to speak to this expenditures? To the operating?
I'm not sure what the
Yeah.
SST is. I don't know.
That's the amount
street
that comes from street tax personnel.
Okay.
Yeah, the rest of with the allocation of funds, they just pretty much represent what we've budgeted, where the encumbrances were, and what we've expended for the year. As you can see, we are in the positive balance in all of those areas.
Okay. Any questions from anyone about the financial report? Hearing none, I need a motion to accept.
I'll move to accept the report.
Okay, need a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. None opposed? Okay. The financial report passes, and we'll move on to the project updates, whoever's going to handle that.
The first slide there is our updated street operations summary, and that's going to be given to us.
So city crews collected 470 cubic yards of street sweepings for a total of 1,241 lane miles being swept. City crews and staff also collected 2,074 cubic yards of illegal dumping in the right-of-way. 1,594 signs were repaired or replaced. Staff repaired 14,974 potholes. We had 10,009 hours of snow operation employee hours. Snow operation treatments was 3,123 tons of salt and 40,750 gallons of brine. Staff completed partial and full depth street patchings for a total of 5,555 square yards.
Okay. Anybody want to expand on any of that a little bit? Give us,
Just to get me up to speed, how many
Right.
sweepers do we have?
The city operates 2 street sweepers. Those are staffed by our street maintenance crews, and actually that staffing is paid for out of a separate fund from the stormwater oversight. But they operate majority of the time during winter operations or when we are fully staffed. We can't operate them full-time, but we try and get through on a cycle. Ideally, we'd be on a cycle where we're street sweeping the entire city or the majority of the curb streets in the city once every year. What we really, in reality, what we're able to do at this point with staffing levels and where we've been at, we're able to do major priority business district areas 3 to 4 times a year. Those are more highly trafficked, you get more trash and build up on those. And then the remainder of the streets, we're hitting at about a 2 to 3 year average.
Okay, thank you.
You have any other questions about any of the numbers on there?
are these numbers about normal? I mean, are these normal numbers, or are some of them above average?
Well, the snow operation piece, that obviously fluctuates based on the snow events and the severity of the winter that we have. This has been the most severe winter we've had in the past 4 or 5 years, so the numbers on that is significantly higher. Almost twice as much salt this year than we've used in the last 3 or 4 years on average. The number of hours of staffing is about 40% higher than what we would normally see in the last couple of years. The partial and full depth patching is about on average with what we've had. And then the pothole piece, that is about 3,000 more potholes than we've been doing over the last, 25% above what we've done the last 4 or 5 years.
And so the bad weather probably had something to do with the potholes.
Significantly, yes, yeah.
Okay.
That January event really hit us hard on some of that, so, yeah.
Okay. But we got caught up. Are you caught up? I mean, of course, I'm sure you're always gonna have potholes, but I mean.
Yeah, on the majority of our pothole repair work does happen in the springtime, and yes, we are fully caught up. Like you said, we do still do that on a weekly basis. We're going out and patching potholes, but the majority of our crews, James's crews, are out there now doing more substantial maintenance and repair work as opposed to just the patching of the potholes.
So how much damage do you think to the streets has the flood, all this rain, has that led to potholes and street damage?
So we've only really came across probably 4 locations that the water had breached a bridge and brought up the asphalt. There's a couple locations on Chrysler Avenue where it undermined the road and bubbled up the road. We are still kind of in the initial phase of driving the streets and checking on them, see what kind of shape they're in. But so far, on the street side, we've actually lucked out pretty good, I feel.
Okay. That's good news. Okay. Any additional comments from city staff on the street operations report? Okay. All right. Okay, let's move on then.
I can cover the projects for the most part, updates on those. Pavement preventative maintenance, you can kind of see what we did down there for fiscal year '25. About 57 lane miles total, and that's including our crack fill overlay and the Sioc program. We budget essentially $6 million a year and spent just over that $6 million for this current fiscal year. And that is complete for this last construction cycle. Now we're going out and preparing roads for our next cycle to get those bid to be this fall, essentially.
Okay.
On to 24 Highway, complete streets. The Phase 2 portion is complete, I would say, outside of a few minor cleanup things. But that phase runs from basically Sterling up to, I want to say, I can't remember which road we stopped there, around River. Yeah, River, that's right. That section is complete, and now they've started on Phase 1. Sorry, I know that seems backwards, but the way they started the construction on that, they bid Phase 1 and 2 together. Contractor chose to start at the end of Phase 2 and work backwards. They wanted to work from the west to the east, back to 291. So they're in the middle along Phase 1. They've completed a portion of that. I believe they're up past College, approaching Lee Summit Road at this point right now along 24 Highway in that intersection. Square streetscapes, we're trying to get that finished up by Santa Calagon for the most part. We are, a lot of the concrete work and improvements have been completed. They're looking at doing overlay, I believe, this weekend. A lot of that to be done around the square. So the lighting should be installed beginning of this next month, August, prior to Santa Calagon activities up there. So that's a big push. The only thing that we won't have done, we're going to wait until later in the year for planting season for the planters and whatnot that they've installed up there now to allow that for a better time to get those installed. I'm not sure if we're going to get all the pavement markings complete, but we're going to try, but I don't know if that'll be done before Santa Calagon. That's another thing to get done there. So everything, we've got a few other issues that we ran into that were unforeseen. May take a little bit longer to get finished up and may not, they won't, one thing won't be done before Santa Calagon, but vast majority of it will be substantially complete by Santa Calagon.
Okay. If the weather cooperates. Huh?
If the weather cooperates. Truman Depot and Pacific, I believe that should be finished up.
Yeah. Pacific Trail has reached substantial completion. There's just a little touch-up items there, and then of course we're finishing up the building, the issues with the building.
Is that
Through.
this month still, or
Should
are we? Yeah, we thought by the 31st, I think, is where we're expecting, targeting. Okay, can't remember for sure on that one.
Can I just jump back for a minute and ask a question about the 24 Highway?
Sure.
It mentions there that it's a cost share project. And so you want to talk about that a little bit, just Pam, a lot of these big projects are
Sure.
cost share, right?
Sure.
So you
Yeah.
want to talk about that a little bit, Matt?
Yeah, since Highway 24 is actually a state right-of-way, it's not city right-of-way, they maintain that section of road that runs through the city. That's one of 24 Highway, 23rd Street, along with 40 Highway, 291. Those are corridors that are state right-of-ways. So in order for us to get some improvements done we can reach out to the state, and if we've got, well, like on 23rd, we've got one that we went out for a grant. We're trying to do some safety and mobility improvements on some streetscapes, some improvements just like is underway with 24. We reached out, as a city, to try and stretch our dollars and get some improvements made. We reached out to the state to see if they would be in agreement to doing some improvements along that corridor. So we work, it's a cost share, as Wes mentioned, basically a 50-50 agreement to where we work together to try and fund it with partnership with the state and us to get those improvements made. So 24 Highway is that. It's essentially a 50-50 share of the estimate, and then there's agreement that we have to meet and be in agreement with the state to get those done.
So how far back can we look when a project like this begins? When, I guess there's a negotiation, or you approach the state? I know you have to get grant money, but how long does that take before you actually start putting sidewalks and curbs and pavements and years? We're talking about
It's years.
right?
Yeah, it's definitely years. I've been myself been involved on this as part of municipal services when we merged departments for just shy of 2 years now. And when I came in, it was just starting construction on phase 2. There's several years prior to that takes in the planning and getting the agreement in place, working out the contract, getting an engineer's estimate, and then, finalize all that. Then you can start on the design. The design's going to be probably multiple years as well. So it's several years, 3 to 4 years by the time you start looking at it, and then it's finally construction underway and construction complete. So yeah, it's a multi-year process.
This one, gauging on the project number that it's been given, would have been in probably conception in 18, and then became formally funded in 19.
There you go, 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Prior to retirement, I worked on that in
There you go.
2018 and 2019.
John could tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was around when we were hiring Burns and McDonnell and
Mhm.
applying for grants.
Right.
So you got to do paperwork before you do pavement, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Where were we at? Little Blue Parkway and Jackson Drive. Chuck, I'm gonna need a little help on this too.
It is right on track. We're not, we still anticipate it being substantially completed fall, within the next month or so.
I thought that was moving right along, but.
Yeah, moving right along. No hiccups.
Future capital improvement projects, what's that?
That's not updated.
It's not?
No.
Oh, okay.
I meant to exclude that one, so just go with looking at the projects and design.
Okay. I guess we're gonna skip that, Chuck. We didn't quite get that up.
I meant to omit that page.
Okay, so we'll move on to projects in design phase?
Yes.
Okay.
Bell Sidewalk Phase 2, that design is complete. It's actually been bid and awarded,
Mhm.
correct?
Yes.
So we should be going for construction here anytime. 23rd Street Mobility and Safety Improvement, I just mentioned that. We are going out for a cost share with the state on that. Our next deadline on to get cost share in, I believe, is the end of October that we're looking at to get that cost share agreement completed. So we're preparing that right now and getting submitted to them for consideration. We've had some discussions with it. They are at least verbally in support of going and looking at it. Now we'll have to just work out details and design, get a little bit further down the road. So
Okay.
that is going to be a project that we're looking at.
Now, when you talk 23rd Street safety improvements like that, what area does that entail? Does that go like from 291 to Sterling, or, is it?
Yeah, if you look down there, 23rd Street Complete Streets, there's a multi-phase on that. We've broken that up, phase 1, 2, and 3. Phase One, I believe, is from essentially Hub Drive to back to Lee Summit Road. We're filling in some gaps of sidewalks along 23rd Street, making some improvements there from essentially the shopping district and then back west to Lee Summit. Phase 2, that portion is from 291 out to, and I'm drawing a blank right now, Strode? What's that?
Jackson?
Not quite that far. I thought it was just, is it, which is? Swope, I'm sorry, thank you. To basically the schools, to the middle schools out here. So that's that portion, phase 2. And then phase 3 will be from Swope out to Jackson Drive, that we're adding the sidewalks, making it complete streets so that we can get sidewalks and pedestrian travel along this corridor. So, and then when I go back to 23rd Street mobility, that's actually going from the west city limits all the way up to Nolan Road on that one. So that's a very large project. We've gone essentially out for a grant, a large grant for that, and was awarded that, but we still can't fund the entire project without help with the state.
Right.
So that large of a section, there's a lot of need out there that we're trying to get the mobility access sidewalks, shared use path along there to make it more accessible for everyone
Okay.
to use. So that's, yep. Truman Connected Phase 1 and 2. Truman Connected is, we just got final plans on it. We're waiting on approval back from state so that we can get that out for bid. Expect to get that out for bid here this fall. Truman Connected Phase 1 runs from essentially 24 Highway along Best Truman Parkway, around the square, and then down and over to Winter Road to Sterling. Phase 2 runs from along Sterling, starting at Winter Road south to 40 Highway. So that Phase 2 is in design right now. We're just starting. It's a conceptual design, if you will. We've had one public meeting on it. It's early in the process on that one. But the Phase 1, like I said, we do have a final design, and that should be bid out this fall to start with that. Let's see, jump down to 24 Highway Complete Streets. Phase 3, again, in design. Burns and McDonald is the consultant on that. That runs actually back from, we start back on at Sterling where Phase 2 ended, and then run west to, Wilson Road, I believe, somewhere in there, yeah, is where that section ends. Essentially continuing the project from Phase 1 and Phase 2, just continuing on west to essentially the city limits on that side. Nolan Road multimodal corridor, working with Olson Associates on that as the contractor or consultant. This runs from Fair all the way up to 24 Highway. We had looked at doing some lane reduction, but actually traffic study showed that it wouldn't be feasible to do that south of White Oak, from White Oak south to Fair Street. We're not going to change any kind of lanes or anything like that. North of there to 24 Highway, traffic volume did show that it would be feasible to have a multi-use path, use a portion of the existing roadway for that multi-use bike path and things like that, which will work well to help connect up that along with, we can jump on White Oak and maybe extend it over to like the Truman Connected and get those trails in pedestrian type transportation connected. And that's the intent. We're doing these streetscapes and things with the multimodal paths and the sidewalks, trying to connect up the city to where you can get to multiple places in multiple directions by using other modes of transportation other than just a car. So eventually, you know, we're doing this, we start with this phase, and then we'll do another phase, and these phases and these different projects will all connect up. Hopefully that's kind of the vision down the road. So we're getting there, if you will. Historic trails, phase 1, that's another one. Continuing off of the square streetscapes, we will go south on Liberty. That'll take us down by the depot and then head over on Lexington, I believe, to the east and then connect back up. Kind of along with our Truman connected projects. Again, that'll all connect in there again. This Historic Trails is a fully funded project, grant funded, so it's 100% grant on that one. So it's not costing the city anything on that, which is great. Fairmount Loop Trail, that project's under design. I believe we're about maybe 50 or 60% on design on that one. So not far off. We're having a public meeting on that, I believe, the end of this month.
Yeah, Thursday at 5 p.m. the Fairmount Community Center. There'll be a public meeting.
Yep. And then Winter Road Complete Streets, that runs all the way from essentially northern up to 24 Highway. This the Winter Road Complete Streets. Looking at doing again some sidewalks and multi-use trail on that, and then other improvements along the way. Some stormwater improvements to be integrated with that, and realigning of some of those. As you know, Winter Road kind of has several offshoots of parallel roads and all kinds of things. So we're kind of trying to streamline that area just a little bit, and make it more accessible again to pedestrian traffic. And sorry about this.
That will, so that Truman Road and Winter Road intersection, you'll line that up, right? You'll eliminate the offset there.
Yeah, that's the.
It'll be lined up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Thank you. Sorry about that.
yeah.
Yes. Forgive me about that. Oh my gosh. Okay. Anyway, let me get back here. Okay.
Sidewalks program.
Sidewalks program. This kind of goes along with, we've got several areas in the city to improve sidewalk and pedestrian access. We're trying to fill in gaps, trying to improve. Sorry, can't. Okay. Trying to fill in gaps and improve our sidewalks and pedestrian access again on that. So we budget in our capital improvement program every year to fill in some of those areas and make improvements along the way. So that's kind of an ongoing program. We do a little bit what we can afford to do every year, essentially around the city. Chrysler Avenue Bridge Deck and Heidelberger Bridge. Those are two bridges. You guys obviously know Chrysler and Heidelberger are both out of service right now. We did get good news this week. We did hear back from one thing that was holding us up. We have plans complete on Chrysler Avenue. What we were held up on was release or approval from the railroad. UP Railroad goes underneath that bridge. We had to get approval from them before we could move forward. We just got word yesterday that they did approve everything, our plans, so we can take that out to bid. We are actually bundling that bridge along with the Kentucky Road Bridge, which runs over Mill Creek. We're going to combine those or bundle those two bridges together and bid them out as a package, hopefully to draw more interest and get some more competitive bridges or bids on on both of those bridges, if you will. Sometimes working over a railroad or with that can be challenging as far as the scheduling and things. So we thought, along with getting that second bridge in there, that contractor will have a little more leeway to, when they can't work over the railroad, they can work on that other bridge and get them both done more quickly if you can.
Okay.
So that, and then Heidelberger Bridge, that's actually due to start construction next Thursday. We do have a design complete on that, and the contractor is ready to go and start construction on that coming next Thursday, I believe is what we said the start date on that. Inglewood Traffic Circle and Winter Road Streetscape. This is a project that we're looking to do a design build on that, a little bit different path than what design bid build, to where we're going to work directly with a consultant and contractor at the same time to work through the design, hopefully streamline things a little bit, make it go a little quicker, hopefully save some expenses along the way by being able to work through design problems as we meet them. It's been somewhat of a new concept. We haven't done a street improvement project as a design build, but we looked, they're done quite regularly. We're following what MoDOT is requiring to follow. We're working directly with the Federal Highway Administration on this through a RAISE grant that we've got for this. So we're looking forward to getting that going. We've been meeting several months. We're very early on this yet. We're not even really to a conceptual stage. We're looking to hopefully shortlist and get some contractors on contract with them. Contractors and consultants to get a team that we will attack this and get this project done. So looking forward to getting that. And that will tie into the Winter Road Complete Streets. This project is actually not just a traffic circle, but also it'll finish out Winter Road through the business or the art district there to back to Sterling Road. So we'll make some improvements and street improvements along the way there too.
How many signals will you eliminate with that? I know there's what?
It's a five-way intersection, I believe.
5 different,
Yeah,
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 so that'll be nice,
yes.
yeah.
Hopefully allow traffic to flow through there
Right.
uninterrupted more too, on all lanes, not just,
Yeah.
to sit there.
And without, I imagine you have maintenance cost on the signals too, right?
Yeah, Power and Light takes care of the street lights.
Okay.
And yeah, but yes, I believe this will be a very, very good application for a traffic circle, if
Yeah,
you
I
will.
agree.
So, yep. And then the last one I mentioned already, Kentucky Road Bridge, we're bundling that with the Chrysler Avenue. That design is complete as well, but that will be going out for bid here, I would hope in the next couple of weeks. We should see that out for bid. So, and with that, I think we're complete. I don't know if you have any other questions?
Any questions?
And just to add to that, we have because I know the next question that you're going to ask, Wes, and that we have been working with finance on the GO bonds
Yes.
and how to utilize those. We plan the Chrysler Avenue Bridge and the East Kentucky Bridge will be the first use of those GO bonds. So we, of course, are working on the ways to. Our meetings will have a separate financial report,
Right.
reporting on the GO bonds and how those functions. The plan right now with finance is that we have set up an entirely different fund outside of Fund 11 this time, as opposed to, our debt service was out of Fund 11 and we just added debt to it. This will be a completely separate fund. We anticipate 3 umbrella accounts, one for each of the issues to simplify our tracking methods for the reimbursements for the GO bond
Yeah.
projects. We'll have it'll literally be called bridges, sidewalks, and preventative pavement maintenance.
Okay.
Right now.
And how far along are we in the process? Do you have any, as far as, have they sold any, they haven't sold bonds yet?
No,
They're working on getting them.
no, yeah, they're working on that. We anticipate that in
October
October.
is what they're looking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when that's completed, then,
We're actually able to work ahead. We're starting even like with the Chrysler Avenue and Kentucky Road. We've, been working on those designs. And finance, we've been given the green light to go ahead and start on other designs so that we can work ahead. We don't have the money there yet, but we know it's coming. So we're trying to get ahead of it and get things rolling. We don't want to wait until the winter to start the work on that. So they gave us the go-ahead and start. We'll be able to be reimbursed essentially back from that work. So once we get that release.
The other piece, just so everybody is aware, we will not take out the full amount on the first round of funding. We're planning on 2 rounds of funding right now for it. So because the funding has to be used within 3 years. So the idea would be that we'll go out for that first round of funding in October. That'll do the 2 bridges that Kentucky Chrysler. It'll have future planning for the bridges. It'll take about half of the money for the sidewalks to schools portion and the first projected 3 years of our preventative pavement maintenance. So we're planning on doing 5 years. The $30 million that was set aside for the preventative maintenance piece, we were planning on doing essentially $6 million a year over 5 years. So that would, essentially about 18 million for that, and then whatever piece we do for the side for the sidewalks and for the bridges. So it won't be the full amount, that full 55 million right off the top.
Okay, sounds like plans are in progress, though, just waiting to get going. Yeah. And I'm sure, everybody in the city will be glad to get some bridges fixed, and, yeah, especially me, Chrysler,
Yeah.
you know. So, okay, any other, I guess on that report, do we need to vote on that, or it's just
No.
just for information?
This is for your information.
Right.
Yeah.
It's already been approved by the county. I mean, we don't have any part
Yeah.
of approving it, we're just accepting the reports.
No, yeah, this is just a little update so that you all had a little visual, especially with our newest member for some of the projects that we have going on. The next one that we'll need to vote on will be the presentation to council.
Yeah.
Believe me, I understand about the projects going on.
Yeah.
Okay, our next meeting will be before our October, report to the council. So we need to get that meeting in by maybe the last week of September, first week of October, because that'll be the study session meeting, right?
Yes, that's correct. And and now with our new, we'll probably need to start planning a bit earlier. So
Right.
end of August, early September, I'll start reaching out and asking about scheduling and quorum.
Okay. Yeah, and hopefully we'll have a couple of more members by then.
Yes, that would be great.
Yep. Okay, anybody else have any comments? Questions? Okay, I think we're good, so, I think the meeting's adjourned.